All right, we're gonna see what else Realism has in store. Please welcome your anchor for Team Realism, Janeane Garofalo!
I think there's been a problem that is inherent in a versus, optimism versus realism. There's been too many sweeping generalizations and too many ideas that they're not true. Negativity is not related to realism, which is just dealing with things as they are. And optimism is, yes, some optimists are happy, and some are not. I feel like the versus thing has been reductive and therefore, at least to me, unsatisfying, and I understand why some of you are slumbering. And that's not a criticism. That is not a criticism. And optimism is a concept. Yes, a positive attitude is absolutely fine. Realists are quite capable of having a positive attitude, as many of you do. Now, realists, do you want your surgeon to be an optimist? Hey, the anesthesiologist is not here, but let's go for it. Let's do this. The air traffic controllers are on strike. We're not going to de-ice the wings, but let's go. I believe we can. Because you can do anything in life you want. Now that is or isn't necessarily optimistic, but Kmart, for example. Now I got some great hoodies from the Admiral Veen collection. Of course I do. Couldn't afford not to buy them. 2 of them, $14. Paid for themselves over and over again. Gonna owe those hoodies money yet again by the time I skidoo. But I bring it up because in the windows of Kmart and Astor Place are those that have clothing lines. And there tends to be taglines, I suppose, that one, I guess, could quantify as optimistic phrases, which I call verbal dust. Now, not because optimism is verbal dust, it's just, unfortunately, sometimes as a slogan it is. Dream out loud, says Selena Gomez. Are they calling it that? Selgo. Get out there, get your thumbs going. Like I said, I'm an AARP. That's for the young people. Let them There's dream out loud. What does it mean? I don't know, but people don't like it. I know that, but people don't tend to like it. Whether you're saying I had the greatest dream last night or you're telling them whatever your plans are, it's verbal dust. And optimism can be why you lose the house, right? You refinance, you just go on faith. And I feel like realism, it's necessary. We have to have it in politics. Sometimes, Trump voters, give them the benefit of the doubt. The Tea Party, give them the benefit of the doubt. Why? Why? There's no evidence to support that they deserve it. There's no evidence that, white, non-college educated voters voted for Trump because of economics. Bullshit. I'm sorry, I don't like that kind of talk. I don't like the profanity. But I'm saying, no, they're racist. It's it. It's unrestrained it. That's what it is, and I feel like that's how adults speak to each other. That's how we up our game. As a political body, as a cultural body, we need to speak as adults, use critical thinking, use just come at life from the top of our intelligence. That's what realism is. And a lot of times optimism can be just laziness. Oh, it's going to work out, it'll be fine. Then you're late. You're always late. To LaGuardia, for example. You do have to get into the car now. You do. You know what I mean? I find that... Do you know what I'm saying? It's just, you're not gonna make it. It's Friday. Be an adult. Get in the car. Susie Orman. Now listen, don't get me wrong. I love Susie Orman. Fiduciary responsibility, fiscal prudence, I like the cut of her jib. She knows what's what. I wait further instruction. But she does claim, as many of you know, if you watch PBS and et al., you know that she believes the only thing standing between you and financial freedom is your attitude. Susie, I can't have that kind of talk. Can't have it. As you know, your attitude has no relevance whatsoever to corporate malfeasance, non-compliance, world markets, the University of Chicago School of Economics, and their baloney. Nothing good can come from the University of Chicago School of Economics, much like Washington, D.C. Bashing about ideas, but they give you 72 seconds to cross the street. Oh! As a pedesto, I appreciate that a great deal. Now, again, I like to walk because I don't like to exercise formally. I make myself walk very fast from point A to point B. I walk with great vim. And Now, again, I don't like this kind of talk, but sometimes I overclip my toenails. Please forgive me. Sometimes I overclip my toenails, the second toe that's longer than the first toe. And it's too short. It hurts a great deal when I have to shake a tail feather to get across 14th Street in 12 seconds. Washington, D.C., say what you will. Clip as ye may. You're gonna make it, sister. 72 seconds. That's not great for traffic, but as a pedestrian, for babies. Now, in Pavlovian, hey, I love babies. I love a fat baby. I love a fat baby. Fat baby foot's going right in my mouth. I don't care if I know the baby, not know the baby, foot's going in. But I do not have children because I am risk averse. It is that simple. Doesn't make me mean, doesn't make me selfish. I can't have a kid growing up to do a Tide Pod challenge. I can't do it. You know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying? I don't, where to now for me and whatever I name, whatever name I thought of in college, and that it's not an obligation. You wrote some names on a list, you put it in your desk. It doesn't mean you have to have the kids. I know you. No, but I have this name. And pharmaceutical commercials, belly pain, what, are you talking about stomach discomfort? Talk to me like an adult pharmaceutical commercial. And Rachel Maddow, always so surprised. Always so surprised. Now, she's both an optimist and a realist, although she gets her feelings hurt a great deal. But she says things like, with all due respect, Mitch McConnell, how about none do? How about none do? Just say it. With no due respect, so in fact, get off my show. And then there's all these pharmaceutical commercials, which, now if I did have kids, I would have named them Trulicity and Agree, but I do wish I had. But they try and talk to you, infantilize you, much like in the political realm and in like Selgo. Now, her hair's thick as a brick. I don't know her. I have no wish to criticize her. But that Dream Out Loud. Then there's a skateboarding guy who has a clothing line. Never give up. You know who takes that to heart? Stalkers, dictators. Pol Pot never gave up. Am I right about this? Pol Pot never gave up. 3 million people dead, about 2.5 years, believing himself, had a vision board. Dominoes had nothing to do with it. And then Ken Burns, I'll knock him out. I'm not a violent man, but listen, I love Ken Burns, his boyish haircut, but the Vietnam documentary, voiceover starts with, Vietnam was started by good people with the best of intentions. I'll take him to Fifth City with Miss Loretta Lynn. I love Loretta Lynn. I'm thinking of Sissy Spacek, I think, but I love her. I'm thinking of Sissy Spacek. But Ken Burns, he's pandering with his country music special. He's pandering with his Vietnam special. He's not talking to us like adults. Now, country music glossed right over the racism. It doesn't help us as a society. It's a very huge part of the country music story. Vietnam was not started by good people with the best of intentions. And I don't know why, I'm not good at this, but I'd be great at a filibuster. I do think that, because I'm incredibly cheeky. And if you'll pardon my tangents. And what am I wearing beneath these age-inappropriate shoes? Orthotics and ankle sports that I got with my CVS loyalty card. Loyalty. Use the card, it'll behoove you. Listen to me. About 217 Thursdays ago, I went to CVS to get yet another eyebrow pencil. We don't have time to get into why that is. I only have 8 minutes. I got $21 back. Just pull it. Just keep it pulling. Just that receipt. Just keep pulling that receipt. Pulling that receipt. Which brings me to the Ken Burns docuseries, The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead. Ken Burns, The Walking Dead. Jazz Age Baseball, Civil War, Roosevelt's The Walking Dead. Ken Burns. It's on AMC, not PBS. That's why some of you are confused. He's chronicling what's going on in Georgia. For years, this has been going on in Georgia. Forget the Costco virus. Listen, in Georgia, and anytime I go to CVS and pull that receipt, I think of those poor people in Georgia. Because if you watch the Ken Burns docuseries, you know how easy it is to open a human stomach with dead fingers. You tap it like an eggshell, and you pull the CVS receipt sausages. And the CDC doesn't even know how that started. I'll tell you how that started. As a realist, I'll tell you how that started. Now, I'm an atheist until such time as there's any evidence whatsoever. And I don't say that to be controversial. Again, that's a young person's game. I'm saying that with a heart the size of a baby's head. And yes, I will bust out a Hail Mary on a turbulent plane, That is Pavlovian like the baby. And marriage. Yay! Now you're forced to hide purchases. Congratulations. It's 2020. You don't have to. If it was the 12th century, sure. People live to be about 23. I'll do it. I'll throw my hat in the ring. And then the bloody flux will take me, and we'll still be friends. But you live to be about 90, especially if what I do as a realist. The list of things I ignore as I age is longer than a CVS receipt. My motto is ignore it. Marcus Aurelius, Stoicism. I believe. I didn't finish the book. That's just my takeaway. Stoicism. There's a lump here that burns. I was in Malaysia about 3 years ago, stabbing pain, stabbing knife pain, right here. But I ignored it, it did the right thing, it went away. That's what I'm talking about. Leave it, citizen. Don't look for trouble. Don't look for trouble. Lean away. Because if you lean in, you're too close, you lose perspective. And look at that Sheryl Sandberg. How dare you make me like you, and then I find out you're worse than the Stasi. Also, just say cheese if you must document everything. Speaking of the Stasi, with your photographs, and I know this is more generational, but nothing goes undocumented, as you know. Just say cheese like our ancestors did. Don't try and make a face because you're overestimating your appeal. That's not realistic. It's just, people are guilty of overestimating their appeal. When they make whatever face they think is the fake, just say cheese. And now, I'm not mean. Look, we can do a qualitative assessment of my assets and liabilities. I'm happy to do that for you. I'm a door holder. I am a realist, and I am a holder of doors. I am a realist. I don't have children, but thrice fold now I've returned a child's shoe. When they scoot, their little shoe falls off. I will pick it up, run after the parents who are on the phone, and hand it to them. People in my age wheelhouse will recall that their parents smoked and drank all the time. It was the only way to ignore your children and pets. Now there's the phone. I give modern art a try. Every time I give modern art a try. Yeah. I give modern art a try. I stand in front of the piece and I resist the urge to say, I could have done that. I think I don't say it. Okay, so in summation, look at that.
Good luck.
Oh, you're acting like somehow I've just put the nail in the coffin. I beg to differ. Also, number one ingredient is passion. If another chef says that, I'm gonna jump out of a window. It can't be. Chef, don't say that. Don't pander. I consider that optimistic too. Like, my number one ingredient is passion. It can't be. Turmeric, sure. But just don't talk to me like a child. A lot of chefs do that. They talk to me like a child. And I don't need your number one ingredient is passion because it can't be. I'm not mad at you. I'm just speaking in strident tones. I don't know why I'm being so aggressive. I really am very nice. Ancient aliens did not build the pyramids. Let's stop being Egyptophobic. ## tic-tac-toe board. They built the pyramids. It's just, everything doesn't happen for a reason. Everything it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? Birth is a miracle. Well, I guess it's a miracle on a par with an episode of Law and Order. It happens every day. All day. It's not a miracle. And I love that baby. I saw that face too, and I'm like, oh, but they... And you're going to co-sign for a student loan? God damn it, you're going to lose the house too. But anyway, I actually had a much more cogent defense. And look, that's my problem. I actually had a much more mature, but I got carried away. And I am as guilty as anyone here of being too reductive. And also, it's just not a bonus room. That was the last thing I want to say about it if anybody's in real estate. Don't talk down to me like that. It's not a bonus room. It's a room. That's what it's a room. You can ask the architect. It's a room. It's not a bonus room. Do you see what I mean? It's that. And I'm sorry. I went off track and I've gone on too long. I'm taking a knee. Is it political? No. It's neutral. You imbue it with what you will. All I ask is that you don't get caught up in, and I'm guilty of it too. We've all been too reductive. We've all made too many sweeping generalizations. That's our fault, and that's the nature of aversives. I just ask that you remember your frontal lobe, your cerebral cortex, and you realize that dealing with things as they are is exciting. It makes you happy. Science is satisfying, and all of these things. And I feel like optimism is in a sense letting yourself off the hook, and also I don't know. I don't even know what to say because it seems like I'm bullying you. I don't like bullies. So I don't know how to. Oh, podium. Yes. Anyway, I do apologize. I'm not mad at anyone.